In this video, we're going to take a look at this fantastic set of 6 copper coasters. So why on earth are we talking about copper coasters on a channel that's pretty much focused on whiskey and collecting whiskey? Well, these are coasters with a difference. These coasters have all been made from parts of stills from distilleries across Scotland. Now let me get them all out of their beautiful little holder. So you've got a coaster made from the spirit still from the Lagavulin distillery that was installed in 1962 and replaced in 2012. You've also got them from the Talisker distillery, Dalwhinnie, Glenkinchie, Cragganmore and Oban. So these are actual parts of stills that were in operation. So if you think all of the legendary whiskies that have passed through these stills, and now you can put your cup of tea or dram of whiskey down on them. So, like, obviously, why the hell has someone cut up copper stills to make these coasters? Well, in actual fact, they were made and commissioned by Diageo, by engineers and coppersmiths at Diageo specifically, to commemorate 50 years at the Caledonian Road site in Alloa. Now, the reason they didn't just basically go into the stills and with a hole saw to cut out and make coasters for people. The reason why these have come to life is because stills disintegrate. You know, where the catalytic reactions occur within the still, you get a certain amount of degradation on the inside and it basically wears thin and you need to replace it. Now that's interestingly evidenced on the back of these coasters. You can see the different patterns that have been made on them, which is where they've come from inside the still. So that's sort of really, you know, when you ever get to see inside a still from the Cragganmore distillery, and now you can have your cup of coffee, stick it on there and go, I tell you what, now I know what the inside of the wash still at the Glenkinchie distillery that was installed in 1980 and replaced in 2003 looked like. So it is, you know, these is a novelty, these are unique, and you know, these are very small in number. Now, some of the eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed a relationship between those 6 distilleries, and the relationship, if those of you don't know, they're all from the Classic Malts of Scotland range, which was released or launched in 1988-89 by what was then UDV, or United Distillers and Vintners, who would later go on to become Diageo. Now they selected these 6 distilleries as being representative of the 6 different styles of whiskey available across Scotland, and each sort of whiskey region and style was represented by a distillery that was very typical of that region and of that style. Now that's very reductionist, but you've got to remember that this is at a time when single malt whiskey was very much in its infancy. You couldn't walk into a bar or a restaurant and buy single malt whiskey. The Classic Malts of Scotland range was one of the first ranges of single malts to go in front of the consumer. So not only have you got the fascinating connection between these, the distilleries, but you've also got the fact that they're made from parts of stills from these actual distilleries. You know, the amount of Lagavulins that I've drank, and absolutely love Lagavulin, just to have something that's been in contact with those whiskies is incredible. And one thing that's worth noting that you may not know is why do we distill in copper stills? You know, it's a good conductor of heat, but so is stainless steel. But copper has another beneficial quality in terms of it reacts on a molecular level with the sulfurs that are put out by the fermenting yeast, which essentially means it makes nicer whiskey. So if you ever wondered why copper stills are in distilleries across Scotland, they're malleable, they're good conductors of heat, and they make really nice whiskey. Over in America, you tend to get some stainless steel stills. I'm not too clued up or versed on those, but across Scotland it's nearly always copper stills, and this is a fantastic piece of history. If you like your whiskey and you like collecting whiskey and you fancy something different for your collection, then these are really unique. So there we have it, it's a set of 6 copper coasters, but copper coasters with a difference because these have been made from the parts of stills that were in production for decades. So if you're interested in buying these, we'll put the link below so that you can go and check them out. And if you've got any questions or comments, get down below and we'll be happy to help.